Hello, my name is Mia Borja, and this is my Biofules project on ethanol. Introduction. Ethanol is produced from biomass. It is categorized as a renewable fuel by the Renewable Fuel Standard Program. The US and Brazil are the world's leading ethanol producers. Combined, they make up about 82% of ethanol production. Ethanol in the US is produced from cornstarch and sugarcane in Brazil. It is commonly used in gasoline, which serves to oxygenate the fuel. E10 is the most commonly used ethanol, which is 10% ethanol, 90% gasoline. It can be mixed with gasoline in percentages up to 83%. How is ethanol grown? The biomass used to make ethanol can be produced using almost any plant-based material called feedstock. There are many factors that come into play when choosing which source to use, like how difficult it is to grow, where it can be grown, and if it is needed for other purposes. There are two different types of feedstock: sugar and starch-based feedstock, and cellulosic ethanol feedstock. How is ethanol produced? The first step is milling, where it is ground to meal. The second step is liquidification, where you add water and cook it. The third step is saccharification, where you break down the starch to sugar. The fourth is fermentation, where you break down the sugar to ethanol. The fifth is distillation, where you evaporate and condense it. And the sixth is denaturation, where it is made undrinkable, and it is then shipped and mixed with gasoline. Development status. Ethanol made from sugar and starch is widely available throughout the U.S., as it is easy to access the sugars inside. Cellulosic ethanol is not widely produced commercially, primarily due to challenges in achieving cost-effective production. More energy is used than can be gained by the sale of cellulosic ethanol. The effect of ethanol on carbon footprint. Ethanol emits slightly less CO2 than gasoline when burned, but it also comes with lower levels of harmful air pollutants. Ethanol can reduce greenhouse gases emissions by 32 to 62% when compared with gasoline, and fuel made from cellulosic biomass can reduce greenhouse gases emissions by more than 100%. 1 gallon of ethanol emits 18.92 pounds of CO2 when combusted, and driving 1 mile on average emits 315 grams of CO2. Economic impact of ethanol. It creates jobs in rural areas where employment opportunities are needed. It impacts the fuel economy, which varies depending on the energy difference in the blend used. 22% lower than the average national price for regular gasoline, and E85 is typically cheaper per gallon than gasoline, but slightly more expensive per mile. Communication to the public. One program is a Clean School Bus program by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, which provides funding to eligible applicants for the replacement of existing school buses with clean alternative fuel school buses, or zero-emission school buses. Another one is the Rural Energy for America program, which provides loan guarantees and grants to agricultural producers and rural small businesses to purchase renewable energy systems or make energy efficient improvements. And third is the Department of Transportation's Federal Transit Administration, which offers grants through the Low or No Emission Grant program to local and state government entities for the purchase or lease of low or zero emission transit buses. Analysis and recommendations. Ethanol has a less harmful effect on the carbon footprint than gasoline does. There are pros and cons on the environment. While it does reduce the carbon footprint, it also requires a lot of biomass to produce. Currently, things like corn and sugarcane are used, which are also things that animals and humans consume. It can't be solely used for this purpose. Cellulosic ethanol may be a better alternative since it is made from waste products, but it is not easy to produce. Additionally, most cars are only able to use E10 to E15 ethanol, and only special cars can use E85 ethanol. Most of the programs put in place are more geared towards companies and factories, not individuals, so it is difficult for people to know more about ethanol. Action plan. 1 is to increase car availability that can use E85 ethanol. 2 is to increase E85 ethanol production. 3 is to research ways to be able to increase cellulosic ethanol production. 4 is to make E85 cars more accessible to the public. And 5 is increase advertisement of cars that use ethanol to individuals. Thanks for watching.